Okay, so good afternoon, class. I know I'm supposed to meet you today. Since I promised and I wasn't able to attend the class last Monday, but because of the schedule commitments with my staff and legal, I will not be able to physically meet you again today. And so I figured sending you this Zoom recording of our lesson, which I hope you will finish up until the end of this video. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start with, wait a minute, language class, ha? Okay, this one. Okay, so we discussed last time about delay, no? And we are finished with this portion. And so we move forward to 1170. I believe the other class or the two classes were able to I was able to discuss with the two classes Article 1170, but just in case I failed to reach this in our agri class, let me just go over 1170 once again for marketing. Okay, so 1170 reads, those who in the performance of their obligations are guilty of fraud, negligence, delay, and those who in any manner contravene the tenor thereof are liable for damages. So when you file a case, and for example, your debtor is guilty or has violated or has committed rather fraud, no? Ibig sabihin, nanloko, nanginto, di ba? Meaning there is malicious intent, no? Ng baldog, ng scam, that's fraud. Negligence, meaning lack of care. Delay, of course, we already talked about that. Now, if you don't meet the deadline and there was prior demand and you still did not comply with it, then you will still be guilty of delay and you will be called guilty or considered to be guilty in delay, or in those in any manner contravene the tenor thereof, meaning those who violate the terms and conditions of their obligations are liable for damages. So as a creditor class, apart from halimbawa, no, from the amount that you are trying to recover, halimbawa na nagbayad ka for painting of the house, you can also ask for payment of damages. Okay? And there are different kinds of damages. So once again, no moral damages, which is very much common in rape cases, in cases where you have been embarrassed, humiliated. No, halimbawa na lang if you were left in the altar, you were getting married, di ba? These are moral damages. Exemplary damages imposed by way of example or correction for the public good. So yung example that I gave to the class was like, for example, yung sa Ceres Liner, no, they're a big company, and if ever they did not undertake the proper preventive maintenance, which causes accidents, then the victims can ask for exemplary damages, no? So exemplary from the root word example, just so other transport companies, no, will exercise, no, their diligence and not do the same act or violation for like what has been done by Ceres Liner. Okay. Nominal damages. So these are damages pag may violation of the right, di ba? So halimbawa, if you have a right to due process, which all of us have, and this right was violated, then the plaintiff, ibig sabihin ng plaintiff, di ba? The complainant, no? The one that was aggrieved, whose rights were violated, can also sue for nominal damages. Pag magtanong kayo, class, sino magdedetermine ng nominal damages? Of course, it's always the court. Number 4 is temperate or moderate damages. So eto yung class na you know for a fact that you suffered damages. No, there is monetary damage. It's just that wala kang proof. No, you don't have the receipt. So if you don't have the receipt, or as it shows here, class, its amount cannot be proven with certainty kasi wala kang receipt or any proof, no, of that actual damage, you can instead ask for temperate or moderate damages. Actual or compensatory damages, eto naman niya class, opposite ng temperate damages na walang receipt. Dito, may proof ka, may receipt ka kung how much talaga yung damage na nasuffer mo. So if you have the corresponding documentary evidence to prove the loss, the pecuniary loss, meaning sa pecuniary monetary loss, then you can ask the court to award you of the actual or compensatory damages. And the last one is liquidated damages. This is kind of damages which takes the place or is what you call rather in a contract as penal clause, meaning penalty clause. Like halimbawa, if you have a contract, then ayaw mo nang mag-isip later on, how much am I gonna collect from him in case he violates the contract? So lagay mo na lang sa contract na in case of breach of contracts, you are the person who breaches the contract will be liable in the amount of 200,000 pesos. So pag ganun, pag may nakastipulate na class, you can go to court, present your contract, prove the breach or violation, and then automatic sasabihin ng court, ay, oo nga, no? May sa contract nga may nakasulat. So, yun na lang yung i-award sa'yo. The liquidated damages in view of the breach or violation of the contract. Ibig sabihin ng breach, violation. Ibig sabihin ng violation, you did not follow the terms and conditions of the contract. Okay, do you follow? And then we go back, class. Responsibility arising from fraud is demandable in all obligations. Oh, pag ikaw gali ko no class, no, if you deceive somebody, no, if you committed fraud, it is demandable. Ibig sabihin, you can really sue that person and demand, no, for the fulfillment of the obligation plus damages, of course, because of Article 1170. Second sentence says, any waiver of an action for future fraud is void. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Meaning, no, if you put into the contract, ay, in case na intuon niya ko, no, if in case i-scamon niya ko, hindi ko mag-file kaso. Oh, so if there is a statement in your contract na gina-waive mo, gina-give up mong imo nga right to file a case kung intuon ka in the future, that waiver is void. So hindi pwede na mambal ang imo nga debtor, no, gininto ya ka balya i-deliver ya ang authentic, no, nga Rolex and dingkaliging gaan niya kapeke. And then sa contract nyo, may ara ka waiver nga in case intuon ko sang seller, hindi ko mag-file kaso Yung balon niya, ti ara sa contract nyo, anaton, nga kumis ka nintuon mo ko, hindi ka mag-file kaso, ti hindi ka pwede No? And then amo na biya defense sa court. The law says, any waiver of an action for future fraud is void. Meaning, X, no? Wala to bearing, wala to sang effect ang imo nga waiver. In short, pwede kagyapon ka file kaso. Because, no, ang law gin frame na siya class to protect also the rights, no, of the creditors na especially those, no, who might not be aware of the legal consequences of the actions of their debtors. So, biskan mag-waive ka sang imo nga right, pwede ka gigyapon ka file kaso sa mga fraud nga maabot in the future. Okay? If it does happen, of course. Ang question do na, how about waiver of past fraud? So this was discussed with the other class. Past fraud meaning, tapos na, natabo na, naintuan ka na. And then sa next will be a contract, For all those fraudulent transactions or actions done against me by my debtor, I am waiving my right to file an action. So is that a valid waiver? Ang waiver sang past fraud. The answer is yes, it is a valid waiver because we are talking about past fraud. Ano meaning sa past class? Meaning sa past natabo na. So it operates as forgiveness on the part of the creditor. Ang hindi mo ya ma-waive ang future fraud. Kaya wala pa ganin natabo, i-waive mo na. No? So it will open the floodgates um, of fraudulent, no? People. Numamba sila, ay, so, pwede ta malang ibutang sa contract, no? So, hindi na iya. Gina-discourage na sang law. Kinahanglan protektahan mo gikuno ya ang rights mo. Na hindi mo gid pag i-allow, hindi mo gid pag i-condone or tolerate any possibility of being tricked, no? Of being deceived and waiving, no? Your action to enforce your right. Okay? It's different from waiver of past fraud. Kaya ang past ya, natabo na iya, ti kung ai mo ya sa heart mo ya, nag-forgive ka na, no, gaan mo siya another chance, that's why you are entering into a contract with him, then that waiver is valid. Anong meaning sang waiver? Gina-give up mo na bala class? Gina-relinquish mo na ang imo nga right? Ginapabayaan mo na lang, ginambal mo, sige na lang. Sige na lang kung natapos na. Pero hindi ka pwede kambal, sige na lang kung wala pa yan natabo. That's the meaning of Article 1171. Ang Article 1172, just to review, class, responsibility arising from negligence is also demandable, no? So hindi lang kuno fraud, no? Kung negligence man, exactly nga ang discussed ang quasi-delict, no? So not because nga wala ka intention, wala ka na liability, no. Kung may lack of care also, there's lack of diligence, class, ay nako, pwede mo gidyagyapon malagas ang tao nga guilty of negligence. However, the last sentence of 1172 says, such liability may be regulated by the courts according to the circumstances. What do you mean according to the circumstances? Ang court i-appreciate niya na ang merits of the case. So, kung tanawon niya, ay, oo, nalumo siya, imo bata, kay nagpabaya tong Palmas del Mar kag wala sila nagpabutang sang ilang nga what do you call that? Lifeguard. No, of course they are negligent. Tama na nag-file ka sa kaso. Pero kung gipabayaan mo imo bata, no, nagparty-party ka to, naginominom ka to, when you should have exercised also or observed your obligation as a parent, okay? Okay. Ikaw padagon ko sa kaso. I-awardan ta ka sang karapat dapat, no, na proportionate gid nga award, no, sa imo nga loss sa imo nga bata. Pero because of your, what do you call that, contributory negligence, because sa part mo you're also somehow guilty of negligence, then the court may regulate the award to be given to you. So halimbawa, if 1 million ang hihatag dapat sa imo sa Palmas del Mar kay nagpabaya sila and napatay mo bata, imo na lang 800,000. No? Kay ikaw nagpabaya ka man as parent. But of course, it would not have happened had they deployed, no, installed lifeguards in the area. So, ang sina class, the one at fault is really Palmas del Mar. Pero i-appreciate man sa court, may sala pagidibla nga iban, may negligence man bala sa part sang creditor or sang plaintiff or sang complainant. Kung may sala man, ti i-temper. Ano minsan temper? I-reduce man sa court, no? Ang award ya nga, whether damages or kung whatever that you are trying to recover. Okay? Okay, let's go to We've already talked about fortuitous events. Okay. Oh, by the way. And ano yung fortuitous event? Fortuitous events are events which could not be foreseen or though foreseen were inevitable. So example, no, ano to, mga earthquake, mga bagyo, flood, war, even acts of man, no, nakawatan kada, fire. No, those are examples of fortuitous event. Anong general rule according to 1174? The general rule is no person shall be responsible for fortuitous event. Sabi niya, no, kung may matabo nga fortuitous event and you're supposed to be responsible, halimbawa, to give something, ang general rule ko no is, hindi ka niya ma-filean damages kay tungod wala ka nag-comply. Okay? Meaning, excuse ka. Meaning, ang obligation mo is extinguished. Hindi siya pwede kambal nga lagson ka kay nag-breach of contract ka. Okay? Pero may exception to the rule na. No? Nga biska no, wala man na may nagusto, no? Nga may tabo ang fortuitous event, that's why excuse ka. Pero, biskan may fortuitous event, hindi ka kuno excuse under certain no, instances. Okay? Certain instances would be when the law expressly provides, that's number one. So number one, under when the law expressly provides is when the debtor is guilty of fraud, negligence, or violation of the tenor of the obligation. So kung guilty ka sang fraud, guilty ka sang negligence, kung nang-violate ka gid sang tenor sang imo obligation, no, then you cannot excuse yourself, meaning you're still obliged. They can still sue you for damages, even if no ang thing nadula because of a fortuitous event. Okay? Kung guilty ka, once again, of fraud, negligence, or contravention of the tenor of the obligation, or ari klaso, one is guilty of delay. Okay, it's the same thing. First, fourth, and fifth. Okay? Di ba bago na to ka-istorya sang Article 1170, no? Kung guilty ka sang fraud, negligence, delay, or violation of the tenor of the obligation, biskan, no, may fortuitous event pa da, hindi ka excuse. Pwede ka gid gyapon lagson sang imo na creditor. Okay? Another example or another exception nga kung diin ang person biskan may fortuitous event responsible siya gyapon is when the thing to be delivered is generic. What do you mean by that, class? Meaning sa example ko or sa general rule is ang thing galing involved para ma-excuse ka sa liability is it should be a specific or determinate thing. Example, I committed myself to give you this cell phone, this particular cell phone. Kung nadula ning cellphone tungod sa flood, nag-andar pang ako ng flashlight. Kung nadula ang ako ni cellphone tungod sa flood, iniya this particular cellphone, then the obligation is already extinguished. Why? Kay tungod nagambalang law. Diba? 1174. No person shall be responsible for those events which could not be foreseen or though foreseen were inevitable. Wala sang may gusto nga madula ang ini nga cellphone. That's why kung madula ini ninano di sang bagyo kag hindi na ko kahatag sa imo sang cellphone as I promised, then you cannot sue me for breach of contracts. It's a different story if I just promised you that I will give you a cell phone. What if I just promised you, I promised to give you iPhone 17, no? Kung iPhone 17 lang kadamo-damo, sang iPhone 17, di ba? The thing is generic. Hindi ka pwede kambal nga kung iPhone 17 lang naanod sang bagyo, kay tungod pwede ka kapangita sang another iPhone 17. So when the thing is generic, you can always replace it. And if it can always replace it, you cannot say that you are excused that the obligation is already extinguished because of a fortuitous event. Because pwede mo siya replacean. You can always provide a new one because the thing to be delivered is generic. So just to emphasize, class, when the thing to be delivered is generic, fortuitous event is not an excuse. You can still be held liable or responsible for failure to comply with the obligation. They can always still enforce the obligation. The second one is when the debtor has promised to deliver the same thing to two or more persons who do not have the same interest. I think I was able to discuss this before. How can you promise one thing to two different people who do not know each other or have different interests? Ano na nila tungaon? Diba? That's impossible. So behind it is somehow, no, there is may intent to defraud, no? So kabalo kag hindi na mapuslan sa duha ka tawo, hindi na nila matunga and yet nagpromisa ka sa duha ka tawo, isa lang ka butang, no? You promise to deliver the same thing. So since it is impossible for you to comply with the obligation, kiti isa lang gani kabutang, paano mo na ma-comply sa duha ka lain-lain nga tawo nga different interest, no? So kung nadula mo tong isa ka butang nga gin-promise mo to two or more people who do not have the same interest because of a fortuitous event, you are still responsible. Okay? Because do pares lang na nanginto ka. Because parehas lang na sa number one, nga guilty ka sa fraud. Because you cannot ever fulfill your obligation to those two people because there's only one thing involved and they cannot divide it between themselves. Do you follow? Second exception wherein biskan may fortuitous event, hindi gyapon excuse imo debtor is when declared by stipulation. That means the contract says, sulat gid na iya ha, even in the event of fortuitous events and the thing is lost, no, by fortuitous events, you will still be liable for damages. Oh, pag nakasulat or nakastipulate mismo sa contract class, then, no, wala gid ta maobra. Pwede kinahanglan gid gyapon, no? Pwede gid gyapon malagas ang debtor. Biska nadula pa na ang thing due to a fortuitous event. In view of the statement or stipulation in the contract nga naghambal siya. Biskan madula mo na daya parts tungod sa bagyo, biskan masunog pa na iya tungod sa fire, I can still run after you. So if it's very clear in the contracts, then you as a creditor can still run after your debtor. And the last one, when the nature of obligation requires the assumption of risk. So when the contract of insurance, which is precisely the nature of that business, which is to assume risk, di ba? Kapa-insure ka sa life mo, kapa-insure ka sa imong mga kotse, kaya ting kaso nga mabahaan, no? May lagson ka, pwede ma-replacean or pwede mo mapakayo, no? So ini nga mga insurance companies cannot say, ay, hindi kami liable sina iya kay fortuitous event to na ano di mo car tungod sa bagyo. No? So you can say, no, you're liable because that is the nature of your obligation. That's the nature of your business. Assuming risk, covering contingencies like a flood, like fire. So exactly why you have to, that's exactly why I'm paying for the premiums because in times like this, na may suffer kundi nga damage, you're supposed to cover it. Okay? So when the nature of obligation requires the assumption of risk, like insurance companies, these companies cannot say, or excuse themselves and say, wala na kami liability because they should be held liable. They should shell out money, no, to cover for the premiums of their, anong tawag na sa kanila, mga beneficiaries. Okay? Usurious transaction, sorry. No, anong usury law? Usury law meaning, ano ganing class? Excessive. Shadow ka, ano na, ng beyond the conscience of man. So meaning, isang usurious transactions, hindi nga transactions kaga-charge, ang gabi-grabe nga mga interest. Like sa mga Mumbai, no? Grabe-grabe mag-interest. Like 1% per day. Ay, nako, paano mo nabayaran ng 30% per month? Ngayon, ang usury law is suspended. No? Pero it doesn't mean na it's suspended kapag gusto ka na. You can set interest, no, as you please, but it cannot go above and beyond the interest prescribed, halimbawa sa mga utang by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So, kung nag-utang ka, right now, forbearance of loans, there's like a 12% ceiling, no? Pwede ka kabutang 8, pwede ka nabutang 9, but hindi ka kalapaw sa 12% per annum or per year na interest. Okay? Hindi mo pagpasubrahan. Ang bansang law, o gani, suspended na ang usury law. Pero, ang meaning sa usury law, bisa una, mayara siya nga hindi kagid pwede maglapaw sa amo nga interest. Subong niya, pwede ka na kampangampang, may wala na siya sa particular specific nga interest. Basta, kung mag-utang ka, hindi maglapaw, 12% dapat. Okay? There are different kinds of interest. Conventional interest, meaning amo ni siyang ginagrihan sa mga parties. No? So, basta 5% per year na interest. Sige na, kung ibutang niyo na sa contract, that is what you call conventional interest. Legal interest, the rate which is prescribed by law. So, mo ng example sang Yakabangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, no? Again, release nga interest rate, which is 12% per year for forbearance of loan. Lawful interest, so the rate which is agreed upon by the parties, but also within the rate authorized by law. Wala galapaw, no? Sa ginprescribe sang layi. And usurious transactions, amo nang beyond the conscience of man, there is an excess or maximum rates in excess of the maximum rate of interest. So, kung magsubra ka dada, then kag ma-file ka kaso, ma-filean ka kaso, no? Laban-laban ng korte mo, sobra-sobra naman na yung kamakal sang interest gin charge mo. I-temper or i-reduce ta ini. Okay? But syempre, nothing is stopping you from entering into a contract with somebody and mamba kada be 5% per month. That makes it what? 60% per year. Kay ti, kung nag-agree man gid siya, kag mabayad naman lang gid siya, ti butang mo da eh. Pero kung hindi siya yung magbayad, class, kag ma-file ka kaso, ti ready ka lang. Nga hindi ka gid na niya mabayaran sang 5% per month ng interest. Kay laban-laban, i-reduce gina isang court. Unless ya, parte giniya ka, ano na, berdugo, gidi kakabalan, gidi sa nagutang simo nga ang court mambal, exceptional case ni siya. Sige, pabayron ta ni siya mo ni siya kadakot. But usually the court really, controls or reduces the interest rate. Kung sobra-sobra. Okay? 1176, the receipt of the principal by the creditor without reservation with respect to the interest shall give rise to the presumption that said interest has been paid. Again, ang pagbaton kuno sang principal amount, no, sang creditor nga wala siya kuno naghambal or any mention with respect to the interest shall give rise to the presumption nga ang interest kuno nabayaran na. Halimbawa, may utang ka sa akon. Okay? And then, syempre, may interest. Alang-alang po tangon ta ka, wala interest. Isyuhan ta ka karon resibo. Ang imo nga ginutang sa kon 100,000. May interest supposedly nga 20,000. Okay? Under normal business practice, no? Ang ginabayaran gid first would be the interest. Antes ka maglumpat sa principal. So settle mo na interest, then principal. Ti karon kung nagbayad ka bisakon bi 100 lang ana attorney. Paghatag mo bisakon sa 100K nag-issue ko resibo. Butangan ko lang 100K principal payment received. No? Wala ko may mention anything about interest. Kung ginganta ka sang resibo nga mo nga bayad mo ng principal, it is as if, no? Presumed na siya, meaning, presumed ba? It's not meaning, it doesn't mean conclusive, It's presumed nga, nabayaran mo na to ang 20K nga interest. So, para hindi mag-give rise sa presumption na nabayaran mo ng interest, dapat ang ginubra ko, nag-issue ko sa receipt of 100K payment of principal, 20K interest not yet paid. Para klaro. Kaya kung ang resibo mo principal bayad na, ang business practice would suggest, ay, bayad na principal, ati, ang interest, bayad naman kayo, ginabayaran man una, interest. No? So kung nag-atag na ko resibo sa principal, meaning ang interest bayad na, ang principal bayad naman. Biskan sa tudtuod, ang ginbayaran mo is just the principal. So to overcome that presumption, no, kinahanglan ma-prove gid ko sa court, hindi, Your Honor, actually nagsala lang ko, wala ko to nabutang sa sa resibo nga waya pa nabayaran ng interes. Nagistoryanay kabebi nga principal nga nabayaran niya para bontat nadlagan sa interest. Oh, mangita ko karon pruweba like cellphone, mga text messages. Di kung wala ko yung pruweba, how do I overcome the presumption? Di wala mayawan tayo because ang presumption under the law is when you have already received the principal without saying that the interest has not been paid, the presumption is the interest has already been paid. Gets you na? A presumption means, class, inference as to the existence of a certain fact which, if not contradicted, is considered as true. So kung amo ng presumption, class, nga nabayaran ng interest, kung nga sa tuod-tuod wala mang ginabayaran, mangita kagid evidence para i-contradict na, i-overcome ina nga presumption. Kaya kung wala kayo sa ebidensya nga wala gito yan nabayaran ng 20K nga interest, then that presumption will still prevail. Nga nabayaran mo na tutuod. Biskan wala. Okay? So you have to be careful. You have to really be specific with whatever document that you issue, especially with the receipts. Likewise, the receipt of a later installment of a debt without reservation as to prior installments shall raise the presumption that such installments have been paid. Nagkwa ka ref. 12 months. Nabayaran mo January, issue receipt. Nabayaran mo February, kinisyuhan ta ka receipt. Ang March, why na mo nabayaran? Ang April, why mo nabayaran? Okay? 2 ka bulan, why mo nabayaran? Subong. Ang bako, boss, ang April lang nga installment, kuning ang bayad ko simo. Kung ma-issue ka receipt, nga ang imo nga, ang installment for the month of April is paid. It is presumed nga ang March na bayaran na. Kaya normal business practice would be, dapat kung why na bayaran ang March, ang hindi, why ka pa nga nakabayad March, i-apply ta niya na sa March. Pero kung nagsugot ka nga bayaran, boss, April lang niyang bayad ko, ang March daso naman. Kung ma-insist ko siya yung April, ang ini nga bayad, you should issue a receipt saying, April installment paid, March not yet paid. Okay? You should have reservation as to the prior installment. Minsan reservation as to prior installment, you have to stipulate in the receipt na wala pa na yan nabayaran. If you don't stipulate it there, na ang March why pa nabayaran, and you issue a receipt that April installment has already been paid, the presumption is the March installment was also paid. Giskan wala. So, no, Brown mo, ngita ka naman ebidensya to overcome that presumption. And if you can't present to the court any evidence that the March installment na record na to, class. Amo to. Ay nako, na disconnect ko. Anyway, if amo na class, if you can't find any if you cannot present any evidence that the March installment was not yet paid, then the presumption will still prevail that it was paid. So meaning you have to rebut, you have to contradict that presumption by presenting an evidence to the contrary. Get it? Okay. Magsiling ka presumption, class, ha? Haom na, hindi na super final, ha? Pwede kaya ka present evidence nga para i-refute ina nga presumption. Dari na lang ta, class. Okay. Actually, part dito sa execution of judgment. Subject to the laws, all rights acquired in by virtue of an obligation are transmissible if there has been no stipulation to the contrary. Ano meaning sina? Ang rights nga gaka-acquire or gaka-derive mo from an obligation pwede mapasa. Okay? General rule. If wala man sang nakasulat nga hindi mo pwede ipasa. So general rule, pwede mo mapasa ang rights arising from an obligation. Minsan mapasa, pwede mo mapasa sa imo nga mga heirs. Example, ikaw, may utang ka kay Mr. X. Then, napatay si Mr. X. Ang balik naman sa'yo, salamat, napatay na si Mr. X. Wala na. May masukot sa akon sang ginutang ko. No, not necessarily. If the contract does not say nga intransmissible siya, meaning hindi siya pwede mapasa, ang general rule will still lie nga ang mga bata iya pwede kagyapon lagson because the law says all rights of an obligation or arising from an obligation are transmissible. So the heirs, for example, the wife or the children can still file a case against you and recover the money that you owed Mr. X. Biska napatay na si Mr. X. Kaya ma-form part pa na class sang ilang nga mana or legitim nila. Pwede pa na, balatunon pa na nila dapat kay utang mo na. So, hindi ka gyapon, pwede ka palagyo. Just as class, may discuss ko lang sa inyo. Example, ako may utang ko, no? And then, 1 million. Dason napatay ko. Mamba lang ang creditor. Paano naman? Kinapatay na to siya. Wala na ko sang lagson. O not necessarily. Pwede maglagas gyapon ang mga kabataan or even ang wife kung buhi pa. Because amo na blang ginambal nila na mamana ang utang. Tuod man gina na mamana ang utang. Pero may kondisyon na kung may ginmana ka man sa napatay Di ako karon ko napatay kuya kag zero balot kuya wala kuya properties ya real property why ko duta why ko personal property why ko ya kwarta di wala hindi masukot ang akod mga kabataan or ang akon nga bana kay ang kutob lang sa masukot halimbawa mayara 1 million utang may 1 million kong utang napatay ko biglas may 200,000 kung nga kwarta sa bangko. Anong 200,000 tunga-tungaon na sa ngakon mga kabataan. Di ang 1 million utang ko, 200,000 ang bilin, ang 200,000 lang ang ginbilin ko nga kwarta. Bilang masukot sa mga bata ko kag sa akon husband, sa akon nga creditor. Ang masukot lang niya is 200,000. Up to the extent of what was left by the decedent. Kung pila lang ang ginbilin ko as mana to my heirs, dara lang asta ang pwede lagson sang akon creditor. Kung zero ang ginbilin ko sa heirs ko, wala sila may lagson. Kung 2 million kwarta ko pagpatay ko, and then may utang ko nga 1 million, kwaon niya to ang 1 million alin sa 2 million. Pambayad utang kay pwede ito malagas. Ang 1 million nga bilin, amo nang pwede divide among the heirs. Again, just as rights, okay, arising from obligation are transmissible, obligations also are transmissible, but only up to the extent of the value of the property left by the decedent. Ano meaning ang decedent? Ang napatay bala, amo na tawag nga decedent, D-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. No? Kung wala may ginbilin, wala sang lagson. Kung damo-damo ginbilin, pwede lagson. Kung may gamay nga ginbilin, ati mo lang nang pwede nga lagson. Do you follow? Okay, let's go back to 1178. General rule, all rights acquired in virtue of an obligation are transmissible except, anong exception? When the law provides. When the parties stipulate otherwise, or when the obligation is purely personal in nature. So amo ni siya ang mga instances wherein ang rights cannot be transmitted. Okay? Ano yung example number 3 below? When the obligation is purely personal in nature. Kung si Poria Palayo, si Gary V, to be, may contract sa akon nga makanta sa birthday ko, daso napatay siya. Siyempre, ang general rule, transmissible, di ba? Oh. Di, alangan, pakantahon ko to si Gab Valenciano, hindi man na siya magkanta. Di ba? Purely personal, meaning siya lang gidyabla mismo maka-carry out sa obligation. Okay? So if that is the case, then, no, mauntat, hindi siya pwede ma-transmit ang rights, or you cannot enforce the right against the heirs when the obligation is purely personal in nature. And number 2, yung class, kung ara sa contract. Diba, bako? Kung ara sa contract, kung magpatay ang isa sa mga parties, sa untat na why na heirs, wala as heirs, sa aton lang gid yung limit yung ini nga contract, pwede man na. Diba? Basta kung ara sa contract. Kung wala sa contract, presumption. General rule, we apply the general rule. Pwede mapasa-pasa ang rights sa heirs. Pwede ang obligation, ang utang, pwede malagas sa heirs. Okay. And number 1, of course, when the law provides. Okay? We go to contracts. What is a contract? Okay. A contract is a meeting of the minds between two persons whereby one binds himself with respect to the other to give something or to render service. Meeting of the minds between two persons. Ano gani meaning, siniklas? Dapat two or more persons whereby one binds himself with respect to the other, either maghatag something or mag-render sang service. Okay? There are 3 elements. Elements niya klasa of a contract. Essential elements. What are the essential elements of a contract? Meaning, siniklas, without which there can be no valid contract. Amo na yung pinaka-importante, gidlaso. Essential elements. Consent, object or subject matter, and cause or consideration. Ang isang consent, kung why nagsugot ang isa, paano ka contract? Siyempre, dapat may subtanay. There is consent. Object or subject matter, anong dapat i-give? Anong dapat i-deliver? Anong dapat i-serve? And ang cost or consideration, in exchange to i-give anong ginatagaw? Kwarta. In exchange sa service nga mapintas ang balay. Anong consideration or cost sina? Kwarta, ginbayran siya or may utang to sa before or ano man, kabubuton niya lang? No? So, amo sina. So, what are the essential elements? Consent, object or subject matter, and cause or consideration. Ano ni siya? Being generated. Next, natural elements, those elements which are found in the contract by its nature and presumed by law to exist, mga warranty of hidden defects, or eviction in contract of sale. Okay, so automatic, no? Mayara kang magbakal ka sang cellphone, no? Maybe they are presumed to exist. Nga ti kung gubani pwede kami kabalik sa inyo. Kag mag ano na kag what do you call that? Mag-avail sang warranty. Kaya especially those things that the eyes cannot see, no? Mga internal defects. Hindi mo na iya maura-urada yung mga baka as is where is basis. Hindi niya ginagaan kagid sa companies sang warranty. Ngati in kaso, no, as the days go by, example 72 hours or 1 month for example, no, sa mga appliances, kung wala guba, kung may guba, ibalik lang di kay i-replacean namon. So these are the elements which are found in a contract by its nature and presumed by law to exist. Personal sa amon balay. No, so yung patindog na namon, may ara na sa warranty. Warranty, ano to man, 5 years, 10 years? No, siyempre, paano mo mabalaan nga ga-work na yung ang imo nga mga tubo da or mayo ang workmanship da alang-alang 1 day lang yatag mo. Years, it could take years kaniya para makita ang guba. Ti amo ng mga contractors ga-give na sila sa ample amount of time and they should, no? Sa ilang nga mga clients para to also recover, no? And ask for repair sang whatever defects that may be found eventually. And especially bala mga structural integrity, di mo na turnover sa imo. Malay mo man na gali nga gupakon na dahil gali ang mga roof da or whatever da nga ang pag-install gali sala, di ba? Or gahalalabok gali ang mga pipes mo gali gan lupok na lang gali after pila ka months, no? Or within a year. Pwede ka da kalagas, no? So make sure mo gid no nga mayara sang element na nga warranty. And accidental elements, those which exist by virtue of an agreement for the purpose of expanding, limiting, or modifying a contract. Accidental elements, amo ni siya class ang mga, in short, terms and conditions of the contract. So if I have a contract of service, for example, mag-ubra ka sa call center. Kita mo na sinapermahan mo, mode of payment, no? Either man mo na, cash ka, i-check sulod na sa ATM mo, kada sano na, every 15:30. No? Ano pagid? Penalty, kung i-mat-pre-terminate ka sa contract mo di sa Concentrix, pilang balayaran mo, 500K. Ano pagid? Pag perma mo di butangan ka 1 year probation i-supervise ang imo performance Naamo ni sa mga accidental elements, ginatawag. They have the purpose of expanding or limiting or modifying a contract. Dili kayo makampang-ampang kung anong gusto mo ibutang sa contract, dira aplak accidental element na siya tawag. Okay? Stages of a contract, there are 3: preparatory or conception, perfection or birth, and consummation or death. Preparatory, meaning diri ang ginatawag nga bargaining or negotiation. Parts, baligya ko ng cellphone ko, 20K. 20K, kamal-mahal man naman. Di 5K lang, anay. 5K? Ti na perfect ng contract, wala. Uy, para pa lang ta sa preparatory or conception. Meaning ga negosyaranay pa lang kami sang presyo. Pag ang 5K, imo na lang na 15K. 15K, sige O pag ang sige Now there is a meeting of the minds to arrive at a definite agreement. Meaning na born na ang contract. No, na perfect na ang contract. And the last one, sige, pila 15K, ari cellphone, no? Cellphone, ti din na 15K mo. Paghatag sa 15K mo, pagbato, nagkaliwaan na ka mo. Then, that's the end of the contract. Consummation or death, meaning it has already been fulfilled, no? Na fully execute na ang contract. So again, these are the three stages: preparatory, perfection, or birth, and finally, consummation or death. And characteristics of the contract. There are four: freedom to contract, relativity, obligatory force, and mutuality. Sample, freedom to contract. Pagustuhan, na ikamuda. No, whatever you want to be written in the contract, bahala kamuda, pwede. But remember, class, ang atong discussion, you can stipulate whatever terms in agreement you deem convenient as long as they are not contrary to law, morals, good customs, public order, or public policy. Eh? So just like any other freedom, no, in the Bill of Rights, may ara man tasang limitations because freedom is not absolute. Relativity, meaning it's binding only upon the parties and their successors. That's why I'm saying heirs, right? Because a general rule is rights and obligations are transmissible. That's why the successors are there, because the heirs are generally involved. Relativity, though, it's binding only upon parties and the successors because labot man na yan ni Duterte or kung sino nga tupad balay mo da. Kung wala na sila part ng pamilya mo or hindi na sila kamo, wala nila permaya, why da sila labot biskan ano pa da sila kamanggaranon or ano pa da sila ka-influential. Because under the concept of relativity as a characteristic of a contract, it's only binding upon parties and their successors. Obligatory force, it's a characteristic of a contract, meaning mambaka mo, masina lang yung contract na hindi na yung law, yung RARA yan, hindi na yung revised penal code, hindi, di ba? Remember nyo, contract has the force of law between the parties. It's as good as the law. It's as strong as the law. You have to follow it. Because when you don't follow or you don't observe and you don't comply and you don't honor your contracts, it has the force of law, which allows the party aggrieved to file a case against you. Okay? Kung mangbaldog ka da, pwede ka gani failan da sang estafa. Criminal case. Kung way ka nagbayad utang, pwede ka ka-failan civil case for collection of sum of money. And mutuality, its validity and performance cannot be left to the will of one of the parties. Siyempre, kung may contract ka mo, ganun lang, duwa man, bentaha man, mutual bala, mutually beneficial. I will pay you 1 million pesos if I want to. I will pay you the 1 million pesos if I owe you if I want to. Kung hindi ko gusto, kung bad trip ko yabi. If I go to the US, sapos lang i-breach na yung contract, wala policy, kaya nga, siya lang niya may power. Hindi na mutual. Kaya nga, kuha niyang 1 million, bayran ta ka kung mapa-US ko. Paano ko hindi bayran 1 million? Hindi ko mapa-US hapos sina. Di kundi balda ka as creditor. So, hindi mo na pag-i-allow, no? Amo na contract because it is not mutual. Because it should be mutual in the first place, no? Kay tungod, dapat, duwa ka mo ma-decide. Dapat, it should not be left at the will of one of the contracting parties. Alright? Meaning, so not be left to one of the contracting parties ang validity and performance of the contract. Because if it's left upon the will of the contracting parties in a pag-perform sa contract, then what's the point of entering into a contract? Inintok mo lang lawas mo. Though wala force ang contract because iya to ya call anytime in whatever way he wants. Okay? And contract should not be like that. Okay, so we stop there, class, and I hope you can listen to this up until the end of the video. I hope you reach this at this point, and I will give you further advice as to the succeeding chapters or sections. So have a great day, class, and enjoy the holiday tomorrow.